Hey there everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to do something a little different. I'm down here in my basement office. It's a little bit of a disaster right now. We are putting some paneling up and I didn't quite get the job done yet. Today we're going to be going to an auction right here in the basement. So we have a local auction, St. Anne Consignment Auction here in St. Anne, Illinois. It's just 5 miles down the road from us. They have about 4 or 5 auctions a year. They sell farm equipment, stuff like that. We like to go to at least a couple of them a year, see if we can find a good deal. Once in a while they have something we're really looking for. They usually have a pretty good lineup of equipment, but with the current situation that we're facing in the country, they weren't allowed to have the auction in person because they're kind of shutting down all public gatherings. So what they're doing instead is they're doing the auction completely online. They've always offered an online version of the auction. We've never really done that because there's usually a buyer's premium if you buy online, and they're just 5 miles down the road, so we'd rather just go in person. But today we don't really have a choice, and there's a couple pieces of equipment that we're kind of interested in. So I'm going to get started and show you what we're looking at. So the equipment auction is facilitated through Proxibid. It is just an online auction website. I'll get logged in here. We'll go over to what I'm watching. Internet's being slow. Okay, so right up top here, we've got some workbenches and welding tables. And I don't know if these are going to be on a live auction or not, but these actually sell tomorrow. I'm kind of interested in one of these welding tables. They'd fit right in my shop here at home, so I'm not worried about those right now. So there's actually, okay, so there's this auction that's not a live auction. Then they've got Ring 1 and Ring 2. So in Ring 1, none of this stuff I'm really interested in. I'm just kind of curious to see what it brings. So we've got an 8100 John Deere tractor. This lime spreader. So I drove through their lot the other day and looked at this thing. I'll pull it up here. So this thing is brand new. It doesn't look like it's ever spread anything. But if you look right here, it looks like somehow it got a hole poked in it with maybe a forklift or something when they were loading it. So I don't know if this company just decided to liquidate this thing, but it's pretty much brand new. I don't really need it. I was just kind of curious what it would bring. I would like to have a spreader like that. John Deere 8400 tractor. I'm always curious what these bring because we have an 8400 with a ton of hours on it, and they seem to hold their value very well. We got this Yetter no-till, Yetter strip-till bar, 12 row. We don't really need it, and it wouldn't really match up with our planter because we have a 16 row planter, but some of these older strip-till bars, they don't bring a whole lot of money, so I'm just kind of curious. A couple flatbed trailers. These would be nice to have to put some tanks on, mix chemical for our sprayer, and an 8320 tractor. Like I said, none of this stuff I'm real interested in, just kind of curious to see what it brings. Now, in Ring 2, got a few things that I'm interested in. First thing, this rotary hoe. The only way I would buy this is if it would go kind of stupid cheap, like $100 or $200. So it looks like somebody took off sections and made this into an 8-row, basically an 8-row rotary hoe, kind of like a strip freshener thing. And a lot of times on these auctions, these little rotary hoes like this, they don't bring a whole lot. So if this thing would sell stupid cheap, I'm sure we could find a use for it. If we had a wet spot in the field in our strip till, we could go and kind of freshen it up a little bit, but I really don't need it. Moving on, we've got a Yetter 20-foot no-till caddy. So this I'm somewhat interested in. It's 20 feet wide. Basically what guys buy these for is they put 3-point drills on the back of them, and it gives them some no-till coulters up front, and it converts it over to drawbar style instead of having to use a 3-point to pull the drill. What I'm looking at this for is I could put our 8-row strip till on the back of this thing. You can see the 3-point kind of right here, and I could go in and basically be able to pull this with our 4-wheel drive tractor, which doesn't have a 3-point. And if I'm going to strip till in corn stalks, these no-till coulters would kind of chop up the stalks a little bit and get a little bit better residue breakdown. So that I am somewhat interested in. The main thing I'm interested in, and there's a little bit of a catch to it, which I'll explain in a minute. So this, they call it an Unverferth. I don't think it's an Unverferth. The side of the tank says Rawson Coulter Cart, and I've seen these online. Guys normally run, they'll pull 8-row 3-point planters behind these things. And what it is it's got a 750 gallon tank you can put liquid fertilizer in, and it's got 8 rows of coulters, 3 in each row, and you can see these lines coming down. They are liquid injection lines. So what I'm looking at is we could pull our strip till behind this. It's got a 3-point on the back. If I did some spring strips, I could put some fertilizer down. I could put, some nitrogen and maybe some sulfur in, go out ahead of the planter. I wouldn't want to put liquid down in the fall, but if we did it in the spring, I'd be able to pull this with our 4-wheel drive tractor, because right now we only have 2 tractors that can pull our strip till, so that would take some hours off of that, put some hours on the 4-wheeler, and I'd be able to put some liquid down, and I think this would work really well for us. This is the main thing I'm interested in. I don't know what it'll go for. I've kind of got a number in my head of what it's worth to me, but here's the catch. This is the order that they're selling. So I want this Coulter cart the most, but this no-till caddy sells before it. So that was going to be kind of my backup. If I didn't get this bought, I'd like to get that bought, but I don't want to buy this assuming that I won't get this bought, if that makes sense. So I guess if this Yetter sells reasonably cheap, I might just buy it and gamble a little bit and then see what this goes for. If I end up with both of them, worst case scenario, I just bring back the Coulter cart and sell it on the auction or list it on Ag Talk or something. I guess we'll see. So it's 8:54. The auction starts at 9 o'clock. This Yetter is number 111 in the sale, and the Coulter cart is number 172, I think. So there's 100 items I have to sell before we get to mine. So I've got a little bit of time to kill, but that's what we got going on anyway. Alright, so the first item I'm looking at, which is this rotary hoe, right here, is coming up next, right after this planter. So this planter is selling, looks like a 6-row white planter. I guess all I gotta do to bid is hit this button. I've never done this before. Alright, so the first item I'm looking at is up. We got this 8-row rotary hoe. Not real interested in this, but if it goes stupid cheap, maybe we'll buy it. Alright, bids up to 50 bucks, 100 bucks. Well, a little out of my price range, $200. Don't need it. Let's sit back and see what it goes for. So they got a bid for 150. Got a bid for 200. They're asking for 250. Yep, looks like it sold for $200. Alright, so they are on number 108, and I am looking at number 111. So we'll get going here. Just got a couple more things to sell before we get going. I'll turn this audio off so you can hear me a little better. It is pretty nice just to be able to sit here in the house where it's warm instead of having to go outside. It is in the mid-40s today, but it's a lot nicer in here. Seems like the auctions are always on the coldest day of the year or the hottest day of the year, but I guess if we're not there, it doesn't really matter. Got this hay rake selling here, 1,800 bucks. Don't really need a hay rake. Looks like a pretty nice one though. So looking at these no-till caddies online, they seem to be asking around $3,000 to $6,000, depending on how new they are. I looked at this one in the lot. It's a little rough. I'm thinking, I mean, if I could get it under 3, I think it'd be a good deal, but I really don't want to spend that much on it. So we'll just see what it goes for. Still got a couple things left. We got this harrow here about to sell. And then there's a planter. And then the caddy is right here. So sit here and wait a minute. Alright. 500 bucks. 1,000 bucks. 1,500. 2,000. 2,500. 3,000. Alright. It's already out of my price range. I was thinking maybe 2,000 or less on this, so I think we're just gonna let it go. See how much it goes for anyway. Bids up to 3,000. That's still, I mean, that's not a bad deal for what they're going for, but it's just more than I'd like to spend. Sold for 3,000. Not a bad buy, but we'll let it go. Hooray! Alright, so we're getting close. We got a couple more items up. They're on 170. Just this one, and we need 172. Alright, here we go. Alright, 1,500. $1,700, I'm in. 1,900. 2,100. All right, you got it. All right, so we got it bought. 2,100 bucks. I was prepared to go up to about 3,000, 3,500, but must not have been that much competition for it. So I guess we will be doing some upgrades to our strip till. I'm pretty excited about it. I think this is going to work out pretty good. It doesn't have a pump on it, but it's got a ground drive wheel, and we actually have a John Blue pump in the shed. I'd rather switch it over to a hydraulic drive pump, but for now we might just stick that John Blue on there. Everything else is pretty much plumbed up, ready to go. Hopefully this tank is good and doesn't have any cracks. Probably put some water in it. And the best part is it's only about 5 miles down the road, so I can just drive right over there, pull it home, probably with a pickup maybe. I better take a tractor, it looks kind of heavy. But so yeah, we got it bought. Pretty excited about that. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this equipment auction video. Normally we would go in person, but circumstances didn't allow us to do that. So this was our only other option. So it actually was kind of neat. I didn't do a whole lot of commentary while I was bidding because I wanted to focus and make sure I didn't miss out, because the auctioneer moves pretty quick. So got it bought anyway. One more thing before I go. I just want to show you guys this. So this is my YouTube analytics page. It shows, you know, how many views I got, you know, what my reach is, all that stuff. But down here, I find this interesting. Watch time from subscribers. So 27.9% of my viewers are subscribed. That means 72.1 of you aren't subscribed. Now it's really easy to subscribe. All you do is you go to your YouTube app. I'm assuming most of you watch it on your phone. I don't think anybody actually uses computers anymore, but so we go to my video, turn the volume down so it's not screaming at you. Right there, it says subscribe. Now I can't subscribe because it's my own channel, but just hit that button, then you'll always know when I have new videos. There'll be a little bell right next to it that will notify you every time I put out a new video. So if you do that, that'd be great. Once again, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.